What's up everyone, this is David, and for those of you who don't know, Persona is a spin-off of a series of games called Shin Megami Tensei. When talking about Shin Megami Tensei, the fans might say Megaten or SMT or Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei is a series of games that is also developed by Atlus, which is now owned by Sega, and the series started in 1987 with a release called Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. From 87 to 2020, we saw a bunch of different releases and spin-offs of Megaten games. The most famous spin-off of them all is of course the Persona franchise, which has currently outsold mainline Shin Megami Tensei. Today, I am here to tell you why Persona fans should jump right into Shin Megami Tensei. If you have never played any of the Megaten games except Persona, this video will help you out to find if this series of games is for you or not. So what I want to do is start by giving a few similarities that both series have in common. In Shin Megami Tensei, you'll recognize the demons at first. A bunch of demons are the same in both games. And then speaking of demons, the way that you recruit demons in both series share a lot of similarities as well. Where you have to speak to a demon and negotiate with him so he can join your team. This mechanic is present in, I know, only Persona 1, 2, and 5, but I still wanted to point that out since demon negotiation is a staple in Megaten games and you'll find that mechanic in every single game. So if you recruit a Jack Frost in a game like Persona 5, you'll be able to recruit that same exact Jack Frost in Shin Megami Tensei 4, for example. What's also very similar is the combat. If you played a bunch of the Persona games, you know that it's important to exploit demon weaknesses to succeed in combat. Well, those techniques are also present in SMT games. The spells for your demons are also very similar. You'll find spells like Bufu, Aji, Dia, etc. Everything else is, every of those spells are from SMT games. So if you're only familiar with Persona games, at least you'll have demons and spell to help you be in a new environment. And something stupid that I quickly want to point out is that the wind spells, for whatever reason, are different. They're at least named different from Persona to SMT. In Persona, you have, for the wind spells, they're called Garu, Garula, and Garudine. Now in SMT, those same exact spells, wind spells, are called Zan, Zanma, and Zandine, which I thought was pretty funny. We don't know why, but that's a quick difference that I wanted to point out. So as you can see, there's not that many similarities. Both series are very different, which brings me to a summary of the differences between both franchises, and I want you guys to understand correctly what you're getting into if you decide to play your first SMT game. I want to say that Megaten games tend to be a bit darker in tone than Persona games. Well, I would say that the Persona game, after the second installment at least, it's pretty easy to notice, honestly. You just have to take a look at a game like SMT Nocturne and compare it to a game like Persona 4, for example, and you have your answer. The setting is also very different since most Persona game, you'll be playing with the classic high school setting, bunch of teenagers in high school that faces a certain problem. Well, in Megaten games, the setting is very different and very unique from a game to another, and it's one of the things that I like the most. The differences in the setting and tone from a game to another makes it very refreshing, and it never gets boring in my opinion. A quick example that I would like to give is, for example, in SMT4, you play as a group of samurais, while in another game, like SMT Devil Survivor, for example, on the DS, you play as a bunch of kids where the world's about to end, basically. So it's different for every game. When there's such differences on the setting and tone of the games, you can expect them to have very different soundtracks. In Persona games, especially anything from 3 to 5, you'll listen to more flashy and pop-style soundtracks, while in SMT in general, you'll have a soundtrack that fits a darker tone. Here's an example from a song from Persona 4 compared to one from Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. This is a difference, but both series have amazing soundtracks. So the soundtracks, most of them at least, are made by Shoji Meguro, and they're all on another level, to be honest. It doesn't really matter whether you're playing Persona or SMT on the music department, you'll have a good time, you'll have a blast. The calendar system from Persona is completely unique. It's not in Megaten games. In a bunch of SMT games, you don't necessarily have as much interactions with your party and with the other characters that you'd have in an SMT game, for example. What I'm trying to say here is that in Persona you have social links, you have confidence, and you'll spend multiple, even a few hours completing those social links and building on a certain character. That doesn't mean that the characters are not expanded upon in SMT games, but you just won't have those long periods of time dedicated to only a specific character. Speaking of characters, the character designs for both series are really different, really unique as well. Now, the length of the games are a bit different. Both series tend to be long JRPGs most of the time. SMT games, I'd say, would average between 30 to 50 hours to complete, while Persona games are more toward the 60 to 100 hours of gameplay, and that's a rough estimate, of course. Now, the difficulty level in SMT games is a notch higher than Persona games as well. In Persona, most of the bosses, if you're familiar with JRPGs, you'll beat on your first try. While in SMT, you have bosses that will definitely fuck you up a bunch of times, to be honest. If you feel like giving up as soon as you die in a video game or you lose a fight, I'd say stick to Persona, honestly, because some bosses are unforgiving in Shin Megami Tensei. So what I want to say before I end this video is that I know that Persona has a mainstream appeal that SMT doesn't have, and that's why Persona outsold SMT. What I want to tell you guys is that if what you like about Persona, if the only things that you like about Persona are the social links, the calendar system, living your daily life, getting a waifu, you know, getting into relationships, stuff like that, I would say that you might not be the right person for SMT. What I would like to say is that if what you like in Persona are the dungeons, the combat, the demon fusion mechanics, the demon negotiation mechanics, all of that, the darker bits of the story, all of that, if that's what you like from Persona, you should definitely jump right into Shin Megami Tensei. It's an amazing franchise and you'll have a blast getting into it. So this is it, guys, for this video. It was a short video, but I just wanted to tell Persona fans that don't know anything about SMT, since there seems to be even more of them every single year, I want to let you guys know whether or not you should get into SMT or not. So if you liked the video, if you want more Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, or Atlas content, please click that subscribe button, and if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. That really helps to support the channel. Thank you for your time, guys, and see you next time.